How are you, Hannah?
I'm good.
You okay?
Yeah,
I'm
all
alright.
good.
I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted.
It's just begun.
It has begun. It has begun. And this is like the first actual in-person event I've done in 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So it's, I've been to Grimmfest before.
Yeah.
It was great. It was in person. It's fun. Then we all hid away from the world for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I've come back out now, so it's exciting but also very strange.
Yeah. Bittersweet.
So,
yeah.
how did you keep yourself occupied during? I'm not going to spend the whole Grimmfest talking about the pandemic because I think everybody's sick about it. But
yeah.
How was it for you? Creativity.
I spent it writing this film. So
This film?
this
one. That's
Yeah,
that's
that
the
one.
Australian version. So Australians can watch this one, but here we need to watch this one.
Yes. Yeah. We spent it right. Well, actually, we wrote it right before the pandemic happened, and then when the pandemic happened, we obviously couldn't make it. So we just spent the 2 years tweaking it, making it as good as we could possibly get it. The longest I've spent on a script, and I think that it was a really, really good thing.
So what sort of tweaks did you make then? So you mentioned tweaking it. How big were the tweaks?
I mean, some of the scenes definitely changed, for sure. The big coat hanger scene, that came about during the pandemic, and I think it was a lot of processing a lot of political and social anxiety that I think we were feeling that year. So that was a big one, but yeah.
That's a tweak and a half, that one.
Yeah.
That was one of the first moments. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But you can't help watch it. It's
Right.
one of those, you don't want to watch
Can't
it
look
because it's
away.
horrific, but you know you've got to watch it because you want to watch it and see what happens.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
But you co-wrote this
I
with
did,
Alex.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's co-writing a script like? Because I can't imagine. It's like if I wrote something, I'd go, right, I've written it, I like it, it's great, I'm happy with it. Whether it's good or not would be another matter. But to co-write with somebody, explain what that process is
Yeah.
like.
Well, we're really good friends, and it was honestly a way that we could really stay connected during the pandemic. So we spent a lot of evenings on Zoom chatting and talking about what we wanted it to be. We started with a basic outline of what we wanted each scene to be and do, and then we would each write our own version of that scene. Okay. And then we would each read the others, and we would write notes for the other person, and we'd come together and we'd pull what we liked and get rid of what we didn't like. And it actually became a really streamlined way of writing that together.
So like one of the scenes, so say you wrote like scene 1, for example, not to go into spoilers, your scene 1 would be drastically different from Alex's, or would they be similar?
They'd be similar because we'd know what we wanted to happen. It would just be how to get from A to B, basically. And sometimes a scene would be entirely his or entirely mine, but most of the time we pulled pretty much 50-50 from both. So
sort of synchronizing nicely.
Mm-hmm. And as we wrote together, I think we became more aware of what each other's vision for the project was, and it just really became very cohesive that way, and we just became better friends. We did have many tiffs about it, though, as well. I think we're very passionate people, so...
Is it difficult, though? Because I can imagine it would be, for me, if I wrote a draft and sent it to you, I'm like, here's my scene. I think it's amazing, because it's great, and I'm very proud of it. And you look at it and go, how is it to give the feedback
I think I would tell him it's shit.
Really?
Yeah, and he would
no.
and he would tell me. And I think the key was just don't take it personally, because the goal was that, not each other's feelings. It was that, and we both knew that the entire time. And I think that we never shied away from being honest about how we felt about something, but we'd defend each other's decisions as well. Like, if I said his scene was shit, he would argue with me that it's not, and we'd have a conversation about it, and I might change my mind, or he might change his mind. So I think that just having a really, the same goal, the same dream, and just understanding that it's not personal. Yeah. So.
I mean, you've come from previously making your own short films. You've worked as a production assistant and an intern and stuff. Mm-hmm. So you've probably seen the tougher side of the TV and film industry. So you'll be kind of used to that to a certain extent.
Yes, for sure. It's a scary industry. It is. But again, if you have the art and the final product in mind at all times, and you just learn to kind of dust it off, get back up again. It's how you bounce back that counts, I think.
And is that something that comes naturally, or is that something that comes by, you take a lot of knocks and you go, now I'm a little bit used to it? Or is that something you think you had in you from very early on?
I think you got to take a few knocks, for sure. And you have to believe in yourself even when nobody else believes in you as well.
Because people can go, I don't like that. And I always think it doesn't reflect on the material as much. It's just like maybe that's not what they're looking for.
It's just a taste thing.
Taste, isn't it? It's like music.
Exactly.
Your favourite song I might not like, and vice versa. But it doesn't mean the songs are bad. It just means it's a taste thing.
Totally. And you can see it with Baby Fever. I mean, some people don't like it, some people love it. So,
I loved it.
Thank you.
I loved it.
Thank you.
I'm glad I wasn't eating while I was watching it. So maybe that's a tip. Put it on the poster. Don't eat like a stir fry or anything meaty or whatever. But I really, really liked it. And what inspirations were there? Where did the story come from? You mentioned sort of the political viewpoints and stuff early on.
Yeah.
But where did the very seed of the Baby Fever come from?
I think the prom. So I am a vintage collector. I've collected vintage prom dresses since I was in high school. And Emma Kogan, who's my co-founder of Monstrous Femme, she also really loves vintage. She does all the costume design for our projects. And we were like, let's do a 70s prom. That would be great. We love Carrie. We love 1987 prom night too. Those are some of our favorites. So that's kind of where it started. And then I was thinking, like, what are the fears and anxieties that a teenage girl is experiencing, And I think teen pregnancy is a really big one, especially now. I mean, when we wrote and made the film, Roe v. Wade was still in effect, and the film was finished when it was overturned, but it's just become more and more relevant at every screening of it.
Because people are going to watch that now and go, wow, is this because of Roe v. Wade? And you're like, well, no, because it was done before that.
Yeah.
But is it okay to say it's good that it's still relevant? Because Roe v. Wade is a crazy situation anyway, so it's not, you know what I mean?
It hits very differently.
Yeah.
It really does. And I think when we were about to premiere it, so our premiere was, I think, 4 days after it was overturned, I was so terrified. I was clutching my producer's arms in the theater because I didn't know how people were going to take it, because I know what our intention was with it. But it was so raw and so fresh for everybody in that theater. And I think that, everyone in the theater was so quiet the entire scene, that scene we were talking about. Yeah. And then at the end, there's the laugh. And when everyone laughed, I was like, okay, we're in the clear.
Because that sort of scene isn't one I can't think of any other films that I've seen that sort of scene in. There may be some, but I can't think of them off the top of my head, so it's rare.
Thank you for saying that. I mean, I haven't seen a coat hanger abortion done in a film. I saw it in Yellow Jackets. I don't know if you've seen.
I've got that on my Paramount queue to watch.
We made Baby Fever before that came out. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, people, that's been done, and people responded well. Because at that time, I didn't know what the response was going to be. And I was really, I've been scared about that ever since we shot it. But I know that we went into it with the greatest of intentions, the most pure of intentions. We had a really safe set that day. It was just me and our actress, and we had a female camera operator at that time. And we just really wanted to make sure that we were, taking the utmost care when we did that scene, and we're being respectful.
And how have the reactions been? Because it's, I think if any film had been made 20 years ago, there'd be web chats and this, but now the whole social media thing, the Facebook thing, and the film community is vocal when it chooses to be. As I'm sure being a Twitter sort of user like I am.
The audience reactions have been really, really positive so far, but nobody sent it to Tucker Carlson yet. Although that would be a very good marketing tactic, I think.
Okay, do you want to send it to him?
Why
do it.
not?
I don't care. Yeah, I'll do it.
So I'm waiting, and I welcome those responses. I mean, art is so subjective. I'm very against censorship as well. I think that things need to be done tastefully and with good intentions, and precautions taken and from the right perspective. But I don't believe that we should censor our art in any way, especially horror. So I'm ready for a different response. Yeah.
And you've got the screening of this tonight as part of the
it might
night
be tonight.
Of Grimmfest. It might be. I'll be in the audience watching, so if there's a crazy reaction, I'll film it for you.
Yeah, thank you.
But so what's it like? Your film's going to screen within, the next couple of hours.
Yeah.
What's that like for you?
It's nerve-wracking. It really is, but it's exciting. I don't watch the movie. I watch everyone in the audience. And I take note of all the reactions. And if a joke doesn't hit hard enough, then maybe we make it louder. Maybe we add a sound effect here. Like, I'm always revising. The version of the film tonight has never been seen before because we've made edits and changes.
Oh, okay. So it's a different one than I've watched already. So I've seen the film already. So.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, not vastly different, but yeah, if a joke doesn't hit, we'll change it a little bit, or we'll add a different sound or something.
I was chatting to Fernando, who's also a filmmaker here, showing The Passenger, and he was saying that he's travelled the world with his film, and he said in some countries, no reaction to a joke. Other countries, huge reaction. And so he's sort of, he's not changed anything on the film, but he sort of did explain that some people may laugh at or cringe at some scene, but may not another. So I don't think it means there's anything that maybe need no more tweaks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually British. I'm from Liverpool.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've lived in America since I was 7.
The Liverpool accent.
No, it's gone. It's gone. But I do have, a Scouse sense of humor, I think.
Okay, well, that's
cool. So I'm interested to see what the Brits think of the jokes.
Well, I love the jokes.
Okay, good.
I've got an English Scottish accent, so that's why mine's a bit weird and sort of mixed or whatever. But, but I'm looking forward to watching Baby Fever with the audience as well tonight.
Thank you. Me too.
I will see you down there, just facing away from the screen.
I'll be looking at you.
Yeah. Are you doing a Q&A or anything afterwards? Are you not sure yet?
I think so. I'm doing a media wall after this.
I'll probably see you there.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure what the plan is. I might do something after the shorts block, but we'll see.
But no, wishing you the very, very best of luck with
you.
that. And also your other films as well. And obviously with us following each other on Twitter, I will know about all the work and stuff that you're doing, so I look forward to watching it.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Can I get you to sign my
poster?